His response could have been lay down and die, literally. The outcome would have been dead Stevie, no more podcast, right? But instead, his response was, I'm going to get help. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to work to get back in better shape than I've ever been. And now he's kicking ass back up to 190, getting back to big Stevie cool. And we do the podcast all the time. And the only difference was the response, his response to that. And so he took responsibility. And so for everybody listening, and for myself too, talking to myself, none of this is just me preaching. It's all reminder. Every situation that happens, like my mouth, we talked about that at the beginning of the episode, my 2 root canals that I had to have. My response to the event of the filling falling out was, I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it. Years go by. And now I have an outcome of I had to get root canals. But if I'd have responded when the filling fell out and went and got it fixed immediately, I wouldn't have this issue right now. So you got to look at everything through that lens of what was your response to that event. You can't always control the events, but you can always control your response to those events, which then creates a different outcome based on your response.
I want to amend my earlier thing about nobody's here to save you, nobody cares. If you do have people close to you, because here's where I'm going to be accountable, and I'm actually going to personal accountability. I wasn't like that all the time with the spine infection.
Sure.
My wife pushed me past what I thought I could. Fear, and lots of people have fear out there. Fear overtook me. But the lesson learned from that was that I hadn't felt that fear. I hadn't felt that unknown. I hadn't felt anything like that before. And what we believe is God put that in there to teach me a lesson.
Yeah.
To really teach me a lesson, because I was doing, or my brand and other things in my life was that cardio machine, superhuman, this and that, even whatever. I went into show off mode a little bit too much with the fitness brand, but that wasn't the mission statement I started it on. The mission statement was what we just talked about: beginners, 101, casual, easy to understand. Got a little bit away from me. Even the size of the garage gyms just got a little unmanageable. The spine infection proved that. Hey, quality over quantity. You're getting a little too out of control with all this stuff. It made me reset everything, Mike. And if I didn't have my wife, I probably wouldn't have been to this point right now. So the person that hammered personal responsibility and keep moving forward and keep pushing was my wife. So if anybody out there has somebody like that, hold on to them for dear life and ignore all the other noise, because you may need them and they may need you to tell, hey, my God, you're getting fat, like Ivory did to me many, many years ago. So I'm not saying you always have to have it in your mind, but you also have to surround yourself. Like I just said, your fitness journey with Tim and what he's doing probably does spread out to say, man, I got to figure out who I have in my circle of friends and family that will either lift me up or pull me down. The old Mark Murrow elevator pitch. The people are like elevators. They'll either lift you up or they're going to drag you down. So I just want to amend that, because I didn't have it during that time, but I thank God every day that my wife shouldered the accountability while I was afraid and lifted me up back into my old mindset.
Totally. And I agree with you that it's definitely great to have people in your life that can help you be accountable. But at the end of the day, it's still up to you. Your wife was pushing you, and not to take anything away from her, because I wholeheartedly believe that she helped you get through all of it, and all the credit in the world to her. But at the end of the day, your response to her pushing you, she could have pushed you and you could have told her to F off, and you guys could be divorced now. You know what I mean? Like,
should have beat my ass.
Well, but that's the point. Like, so like, I had this, I posted a thing the other day. This is probably a month or two ago now, that about taking responsibility. And as soon as you learn that you're in complete control of your life, you can fix it and you can make changes. And then it's funny. My friend Dave, is a pastor, he messaged me and he's like, yeah, he's a pastor. And so I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of, once you realize you're not in control is when you can change things. And I said, yes, once you are take responsibility enough to realize that you're not in control and surrender to that, now you can take full control because God has given us the opportunity to choose, like free choice, do what we want, right? Like you realize that there's the higher power there, but once you realize that, now you can have the free will to make the right choices and take the right responsibility. So at the end of the day, it's still up to you, no matter what. Like you can have someone in your life encouraging you, but you can either take that encouragement and turn it into a positive thing to help take that responsibility, or you can take that person in your life that has been encouraging you and tell them to screw off, and then don't listen to them and ruin that relationship, and then just go the complete opposite direction of where you were going. At the end of the day, it's still up to you to take the responsibility in your life. And it's, man, I'm just gets, sorry.
It's just no, it's okay. That's a tricky thing because you can go into a bunch of
Yeah,
wordplay with surrender and take control, and
sure.
because taking you're in full control is like the atheist type of
Oh, sure.
playbook there. And obviously, what we're talking about is we surrender to things we cannot control to
Sure.
God, but the
Sure.
things we can control is acting as like our bodies.
Mhm.
We're given one life here, and we have to make the most out of it. We have to be as healthy and as strong for our family. We want to serve others, but if we can't, like you said, if you can't take care of yourself to be strong enough to take care of other people. So it is still a Christian thing to be able to do. Some
Sure.
people might hear that, but surrendering doesn't mean waiting for the call or waiting for the
No.
diet
Yeah.
and waiting for the workout either.
Yeah.
You got to,
Sure.
I'll put one more saying: your body's a temple. So if you
Yeah.
want to stay in the fitness realm of this personal accountability, you were given a body and you were given health and life each and every day. It can go either way for both of us and everybody
Mhm.
around us. So every time we wake up and we're able to do anything, and this will never leave me, the fact that I can get up, stand up, and walk and
Mhm.
do whatever still makes me emotional multiple times per day. You
Sure.
can hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
So I thank God every day, but I also say I need to make the most out of this day because I don't know if I'm going to have tomorrow.
Sure.
That's personal accountability as well.
Yeah.
What's the legacy you want to leave? I'll just finish with this. I know I'm all over the place too. I could not do the wrestling analysis channel maybe even a year ago because I couldn't get out of my own way.
Sure.
Maybe I couldn't get over a little bit of the bitterness, whether justified or not, from the business. I
Mhm.
couldn't let go, but and also I had an ego, just like everybody
Sure.
else does. But when I looked at the whole in the content, and I said, wow, I'm in a business, and I mean every word that I say in these videos, by the way. I'm not trying to play a character. I'm looking at this and I'm saying the boys, and in this case, the girls or the people within the business, it's almost causes them physical pain to give others credit. They can
Mm.
only put themselves over, as we say in the business.
Yeah.
If I can, and I've always been self-deprecating, so that's natural right there. If
Sure.
I can give them all the credit in the world and be overly critical of myself, not only is it going to be great as a growth as a man and personal accountability, hyper accountability, but also hyper, giving other people flowers. That's the new saying in 2020, giving everybody their deserved flowers, no matter how I feel about them
Mm.
personally. If I can do that, not only is it going to be great and fulfilling personally, but it's also going to be a business model that nobody else is going to duplicate because nobody else, I guess, chooses to take
Sure.
on that growth. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes total sense. Yep. Makes total sense. And
But I
but
couldn't
just,
do it. I can't do it without the right attitude, and I can't do it without getting out of my own way.
yeah.
And I managed to do that now.